Hey. You all know me by now. My name is James Hebert. I'm a student here at the Weymouth High School. You know, a while ago, the Rachel's Legacy came by around October. And during that time, I saw a heart-wrenching video. This video is really, really intense. And there's other videos that you see in between where people just knew Rachel, and there was even a guy who had no idea who Rachel was until her death. So yeah. This is my version of it, and it's pretty intense.
Now they said he's gone to the library in the building. Okay, the guy in the library is in the building.
Jefferson County 911.
Yes, I am a teacher at Columbine High School. There is a student here with a gun. He was shot out a window. Student down under the table, kid. Heads under the table. I saw a student outside. I was involved in earlier.
I looked out the window, and there was a kid with a trench coat and a shotgun throwing pipe bombs in the parking lot, and then he shot a girl outside.
A victim of the Littleton tragedy was laid to rest today. Rachel Scott was one of the first to die outside the school as the gunmen began their murderous rampage. Cynthia Bowers reports she was Columbine High's golden girl.
As many as 2,500 mourners packed a cavernous church to remember 17-year-old Rachel Scott and celebrate her life.
Instead of dwelling on the tragedy, we declare today that Rachel is alive.
Rachel's parents very nearly lost 2 of their 5 children. Her little brother Craig survived the killing spree by playing dead while praying for the safety of his sister.
It's just going to be a hole in our family.
She wasn't fake with anybody, just, you know, she was herself.
She was really pretty. She seemed really innocent, really outgoing, like she would never even hurt anybody.
Such brutality can take place among our children.
As the tears spilled onto Rachel's casket and family and friends wrote their last-minute tributes, they vowed not to let their community give in to the violence.
In 2010, District 51 schools were privileged to welcome the Rachel's Challenge program. Rachel's Challenge is a program dedicated to the life and legacy of Rachel Scott, among the first victims in the 1999 Columbine High School massacre. Rachel's Challenge is based on her life's purpose, which was recorded in the pages of her school notebooks, her personal diaries, and witnessed by all who knew her.
She was so young, but she started this chain reaction after her death.
Those 2 boys were sick and tired of being bullied.
And he came into the library and shot everybody around me.
It's a big reason why those 2 boys did the killings at Columbine High School.
He came up to me and whispered in my ear, he said, "You and your sister's story just saved my life."
I just think she followed her heart, and that caused her to leave the legacy that she did.
that trust, compassion, and beauty will not make this world a better place to be in, and this life a better one to live. You just may start a chain reaction.
Dana is Rachel's big sister, part of that chain reaction, now called Rachel's Challenge. Family and friends sharing Rachel's message in school assemblies nationwide. 1.5 million students will hear her story this year. But where Rachel's Challenge perhaps has its biggest impact is on the silent majority of students who witness heartless behavior toward their classmates every day, but stand by without saying a word.
So many kids nowadays and students are being crammed with knowledge, of head knowledge, to try to get through this life with education, and there's nothing wrong with that. But what about getting to their heart about something? Without getting to the heart, you don't do very much with kids and young people today.
There were buses that came throughout the day and brought students. And I remember they told us there was one bus left. I remember running outside. I jumped on a little fence, and like a stone fence, and looked in the windows of the bus to see if I could catch a glimpse of Rachel. Thought I saw her. Your mind is so eager to latch on to hope. And when the last student got off the bus, I think that was about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I think that's when I first knew that she was, for sure in my heart, that she was probably killed. This is not something I chose to do. I would have never, I'm not smart enough to figure out how to have a program that's going to impact corporate organizations, elementary schools, and colleges. You have to be 5 organizations to do that, and I'm a pretty simple person. All I did was went out and told her story, and by telling her story, we began to realize the impact that it had on lives.
And when you're a part of that, and you're part of that family, you've got to realize that there's something that you have to do. You have to do that's going to make a positive difference from a tragedy like this.
I just think that it was just meant to be.
Meant to be, because there is more to Rachel's story than her tragic death. She lived the things she talked about in her essay and told people frequently she believed one day she would have an impact on the world. A large number of educators in southern Idaho are betting she was right. Over the past few months, they've been hearing about Rachel's Challenge, a school assembly program that has become a movement for kindness and compassion nationwide. As Rachel's Challenge sweeps the nation, there are encouraging signs that schools can become better places to learn and live. First, by creating awareness.
We have so many young people come up to us after we're done in the speaking to 3,000, 1,500, 700, whatever we speak to, crying, telling us they want to change their life, if they have been mean, if they have not been a nice person.
Rachel had written an essay a month before she died that reflected her actions and beliefs. She titled it, My Ethics, My Codes of Life.
When Rachel wrote her essay to start a chain reaction with kindness and compassion, she had already been practicing that for several years in her school, and she had been reaching out to others. And when she said, I have this theory that if one person will go out of their way to show compassion, it will start a chain reaction of the same. People will never know how far a little kindness will go. That wasn't a theory for her. She had been practicing that for the past several years. Rachel challenged her reader to look for the best in others, to start that chain reaction and to make a difference in the lives of people around them. You know what's amazing to me is that Rachel not only wrote a challenge to start a chain reaction that would touch the lives of others, but she somehow sensed that her life was going to touch and impact the lives of millions of people. We found something she had written and drawn on the back of an old dresser. When she was 13 years old, she drew an outline of her hands, and in the center of one of her hands she said, these hands belong to Rachel Joy Scott and will someday touch millions of people's hearts. One of the things that's important to know is that Rachel was not suicidal in the least. She was not obsessed with death, and she wasn't a dark personality. She was very vibrant and full of life. But she definitely had a premonition that her life was going to end at a young age. And she wrote about that, talked about that to her friends, and at the same time that her short life was going to have an impact on the world.
They are inspired by Rachel's challenge to start a chain reaction of kindness. Rachel's challenge is making a huge difference on the campuses of many middle schools and high schools around the world. Make sure you have this powerful program at your school.
You know, I'm autistic. But you know something? If they're ignorant and they can't see how much I've overcome this, then I don't care. I was bullied and it really hurt me on the inside. I felt like nobody cared about me. I felt like no one cared what I was going through. Nobody ever gave a damn. The truth is, some people didn't know. Honestly, my middle school years were hell. But when I got to the high school, to Rachel's presentation game, I saw a beautiful girl spread kindness around her school, as did anyone else. The presentation made me realize that I was no different than anybody else. One act of kindness could make a person who's been bullied happy. Or as you saw in the presentation, even save a person's life. Therefore, anyone in Weymouth High School is encouraged to join the Rachel's Legacy Club. And every other school for that matter, whoever runs it. If people are still ignorant, I will not let them bother me. I'll kill them with kindness, and I will never let my life be ruined by remarks that make no sense. I'm autistic, and I'm damn proud of it. I accept Rachel's challenge.